The ship staff puts in enormous effort to ensure your trip runs smoothly without a hitch. However, what if certain things you do are unknowingly irritating them? Their smiles and professionalism never waver. Yet away from passengers' eyes, particular actions really get under their skin. Some behaviors are minor irritations, while others generate significant problems for the staff, and certain actions place crew members in terrible predicaments due to passenger choices. Right now, we're revealing 16 passenger actions that cruise staff members secretly can't stand. We'll begin with the error that countless travelers, perhaps including yourself, commit as soon as they step aboard. Number 1. Entering cabins too early. Staff members find this initial issue extremely frustrating, and it occurs right when you board. Boarding day doubles as changeover day for employees, which means they're facing enormous workloads within limited time frames. Prior to the official opening of corridors, your room steward is busy getting your accommodation ready. Slipping past the safety barriers to reach your room prematurely, even simply to leave your luggage, literally blocks their path, impeding their tasks and delaying the whole operation. Generally, you need to hold off until roughly 1 to 1:30 p.m. for the notification that rooms are available. The only exceptions apply to passengers with elevated loyalty levels or those who purchased benefits such as Carnival's expedited boarding option, allowing early luggage delivery. However, the expectation remains: swiftly deposit your bags and exit right away so staff can complete their duties. If these don't apply to you, listen for the public announcement or notice when hallway barriers are held open. Number 2. Leaving a messy cabin. Though nobody expects you to clean during your holiday, your steward isn't your domestic help, and they privately dread discovering complete disorder behind your door. We're talking about clothing scattered across the floor, leftover food packaging on surfaces, or trash placed everywhere except the waste bin. Beyond making their duties more difficult and lengthy, most travelers are unaware that crew members receive instructions not to handle guests' personal clothing as protection against accusations of stealing. Therefore, if your garments cover the floor, those spots will remain uncleaned. As such, grant them a significant courtesy. Spend half a minute gathering clothes in a single location and maintaining reasonably clear surfaces. Your room attendant will be grateful, and you'll return to a considerably cleaner space. Number 3. Flushing inappropriate items. This following issue ranks among the most serious. Staff members thoroughly despise anything that jeopardizes the vessel's sensitive vacuum drainage system. Different from your home bathroom, the setup works exclusively with the ship's specific thin toilet tissue. Disposing of other items, including your personal thick luxury toilet paper from home, facial tissues, cotton buds, or particularly so-called flushable cleaning cloths, may trigger a severe blockage. A drainage problem aboard ship doesn't merely impact your room. It can spark a domino effect of revolting overflows in numerous other accommodations, compelling staff to handle an urgent maintenance crisis. The guideline is straightforward. If the ship didn't provide it, it doesn't belong in the toilet. Utilize the garbage receptacle and don't hesitate to request an additional liner from your attendant. Number 4. Walking barefoot and improper attire. Shifting to the ship's common spaces, let's address cleanliness. A significant annoyance for staff involves passengers roaming around without footwear indoors. Beyond being unsanitary, on the majority of cruise ships, this represents an official health and safety breach. Staff members bear responsibility for upholding standards, and they detest observing unshod feet in locations like the buffet line or coffee shops. This connects to another enormous irritation: propping your feet, covered or not, onto communal furniture. People don't want to encounter feet on a side table where they're preparing to set their meal or beverage. Additionally, staff members dislike needing to implement fundamental appearance requirements in eating establishments. This covers observing men in buffet areas or informal restaurants without shirts or wearing damp swimming attire. It violates the vessel's behavioral guidelines and sanitation rules that they must enforce. The principle is uncomplicated. Within shared facilities, kindly wear footwear and appropriate clothing. Number 5. Ignoring your kids. Though cruises work wonderfully for families, staff experience major anxiety when passengers use them as childcare providers. This becomes especially crucial around swimming areas. Despite lifeguards being stationed, they exist for critical situations, not to monitor every youngster personally. The staff's primary worry involves safety. Witnessing unattended kids scaling barriers or racing around in packed zones creates substantial risk that makes them extraordinarily anxious. It additionally forces them into the awkward role of correcting a child's behavior, which falls outside their duties and may affect other passengers' enjoyment. Beyond the official children's programs, parental oversight remains the guardian's obligation at all times. For your kids' protection and the staff's mental comfort, kindly maintain careful supervision of them. Number 6. Making late-night noise. Here's a detail that's simple to overlook while in holiday mindset. A cruise vessel isn't merely a floating vacation destination. It's simultaneously a residence. Staff members reside here, and hundreds of your fellow travelers are attempting to rest mere feet away beyond a slim cabin partition. Crew members frequently handle extended, taxing work periods and require their sleep equally as much as you require yours. They absolutely despise when passengers shout, conduct noisy discussions, or behave generally rowdily in corridors during late hours. It shows profound inconsideration toward both staff and fellow passengers. The basic guideline is uncomplicated. Following 10 p.m., handle the corridors and zones adjacent to staterooms precisely as you would in lodging accommodations. Lower your vocal volume and reserve celebrations for the dance club or pool deck. Number 7. Hogging deck chairs. This arguably represents the primary cause of guest disputes on any cruise, and it traps staff in an unwinnable predicament. We're discussing reserving pool seating. Here's the staff's hidden challenge. They're trapped in an absolute lose-lose circumstance. Should they fail to implement regulations and clear the reading materials and towels from vacant seats, they must endure grievances throughout the day from the numerous other passengers unable to locate seating. However, should they implement the policy and clear your possessions, they face getting confronted by you upon your return 60 minutes later. They completely detest being positioned in the center of this disagreement. They prefer not to handle your items, yet they also desire ensuring the facilities remain accessible to all passengers. Kindly avoid placing them in that circumstance. Should you depart the pool area for longer than 30 or 40 minutes, gather your possessions and release the seat for another person. Number 8. Filming crew without asking. In our current era of short-form videos, photo stories, and travel vlogs, we've all become vacation documentarians. However, it's essential to remember that though you're the protagonist of your travel footage, staff members might not desire an involuntary supporting appearance. Directing a recording device or mobile phone at a staff member's face during their work can violate their privacy for various reasons. They could be camera shy, they might have private motivations, or they simply may not wish to appear on an unfamiliar person's social platform. They possess the entitlement to decline being recorded. Certainly, numerous staff members are wonderful and enjoy appearing in recordings and will cheerfully acknowledge your camera, but you shouldn't presume. The answer is basic politeness. Simply request permission first. A brief, "May I record you?" demonstrates tremendous respect for them as an individual, not merely as a worker. Number 9. Complaining instead of asking. Even aboard the finest cruise ships, minor issues can occasionally arise. However, your chosen response significantly impacts the staff. What they privately resent occurs when a passenger escalates a trivial, readily solvable matter and promptly takes it directly to customer service. Or worse still, the traveler who remains silent throughout the entire voyage, only to submit a harsh critique in the after-cruise questionnaire. Bypassing a staff member's authority for something trivial feels disrespectful and communicates your lack of confidence in their capability. Furthermore, they cannot resolve an issue they're unaware of. Always provide the immediate staff member the initial opportunity to correct things. Should there be a problem with your dish, communicate with your server. If a bulb isn't working in your room, inform your room attendant. They can frequently resolve it right away. Number 10. Demanding off-menu food. Staff working the formal dining venue will frequently make extraordinary efforts to satisfy you, yet there's a significant distinction between a courteous appeal and a presumptuous command. Requesting something straightforward that's absent from the offerings, such as a fruit arrangement for the final course or some basic grilled poultry for a selective diner, almost always works fine, and personnel are typically willing to oblige. However, you must recognize the ship's kitchen serves thousands of plates within very compressed time frames. It's a precisely coordinated operation, and insisting on elaborate personalized preparations generates a significant disturbance. Yet here's the most critical aspect, a genuine behind-the-scenes tip. Should the staff go the extra mile and prepare you a customized dish, the absolutely finest way to express gratitude is maintaining discretion. The instant you mention it to your dining companions or share a picture of it online, other travelers begin insisting on identical accommodation. Abruptly, the considerate act they perform for you has transformed into an enormous problem for them. Value their generosity, but express it quietly. Number 11. Blaming crew for rules. This represents a significant one because it occurs in lounges, eating establishments, and at the service desk. Nothing irritates a staff member more than receiving complaints about a company regulation that they didn't establish but must implement. A typical illustration involves the bottle opening charge. Should you bring your personal wine to the eating area, your server must apply that charge, and protesting accomplishes nothing. And for clarity, that's a fee for consuming your personal wine in their establishment, not for utilizing their bottle opener. A twist-off cap bottle doesn't get exempted. The identical principle applies at the lounge. Should your beverage plan contain a daily maximum, the bartender must adhere to that regulation for security and regulatory reasons. Directing your irritation at them simply spoils their shift. Keep in mind, staff are enforcers, not architects of the policies. Should you object to a regulation, address it with the cruise company in the after-cruise questionnaire. Number 12. Storing your card in awkward places. This following point feels somewhat uncomfortable, yet it's a major irritation for any staff member who must process your cruise credential, from drink servers to personnel in the vessel's retail shops. Though it might appear like a practical storage spot, kindly refrain from tucking it in your undergarments or moist beachwear. Remember, to complete a transaction or verify your identification, a staff member must physically accept that card from you, process it, and return it. Obtaining a heated, moisture-laden card is unhygienic and renders the exchange remarkably uncomfortable for them. Kindly grant them a significant courtesy. Handle your cruise credential like a payment card. Maintain it in a moisture-free, reachable location such as a pocket, a compact pouch, or a neck holder. Number 13. Tipping on the bill, the truth. This represents a vital and frequently misinterpreted subject in cruising, and understanding it correctly constitutes the finest method to demonstrate authentic gratitude. This doesn't concern automatic service charges. It involves providing extra compensation for genuinely exceptional assistance. Suppose your server or drink attendant was outstanding and you wish to include an additional $20 gratuity on the slip. Though convenient, what numerous staff members will privately share is that they'd rather you refrained. Based on the vessel's procedures, that compensation can be deposited into a communal fund or undergo extensive processing, and it might not reach the individual who deserved it. Should you genuinely wish to acknowledge a particular staff member for their remarkable assistance, the absolutely optimal method involves cash handed directly to them. A subtle handshake with the currency tucked inside represents a traditional, valued technique that guarantees 100% of your generosity reaches the person who enhanced your cruise experience. Number 14. Asking crew to break rules. This following conduct transitions from merely bothersome into profoundly disrespectful because it endangers a staff member's complete employment. This occurs when a traveler requests a staff member to deliberately circumvent or violate an explicit regulation for their individual benefit. This might involve requesting a drink server to provide alcohol to your minor child, attempting to bring an unauthorized guest into the exclusive premium lounge, or asking an attendant to permit a child below the height requirement onto a water attraction. You must comprehend, you're not simply requesting a minor accommodation. You're requesting that staff member to endanger their employment. These regulations are established by corporate headquarters, and should an employee be discovered violating one, they face disciplinary action or even immediate termination. By requesting this, you position them in an unwinnable circumstance. Either they frustrate you or they jeopardize their livelihood for your trivial convenience. It represents an extraordinarily unjust and pressure-filled situation. The principle is straightforward. Never attempt it. Number 15. Demanding perks and upgrades. Allow me to share a small revelation that will spare you considerable disappointment. It's exceptionally uncommon to receive a cabin improvement after you've boarded the vessel. The majority of cruise companies currently utilize pre-voyage bidding mechanisms to occupy their remaining premium accommodations. Consequently, the ship typically operates at capacity when you embark. Due to this, staff at the service desk privately detest when travelers arrive and insist on an improvement, particularly if they attempt to leverage their loyalty rank as bargaining power. Your platinum or diamond rank grants you the particular published advantages for that level, not boundless special consideration. This attitude of entitlement additionally encompasses service expectations. Staff exist to assist you, yet they aren't your exclusive attendants with infinite capabilities. Insisting on massive, expensive modifications like a completely customized off-menu dinner for your whole group disrespects the challenge of operating a floating metropolis for thousands of passengers. Before we reach our ultimate and most significant point, should you be finding this content valuable, kindly take a second to provide it a substantial thumbs up. I genuinely value it. And should you not have already, kindly think about subscribing so you won't miss upcoming cruising advice. Number 16. The attitude they loathe most. Ultimately, our concluding point isn't a single behavior, but a general demeanor that renders the cruise position unbearable, behaving entitled, invasive, or simply discourteous. This encompasses shouting at a staff member under any circumstances. There's no justification ever. It involves criticizing their pronunciation when they're frequently communicating in several languages to assist you. It's additionally being invasive. Posing personal inquiries about their compensation, their relatives, or their existence in their homeland is extremely inappropriate. This extends to disrespecting their schedule. Monopolizing an occupied bartender or detaining your room steward in a prolonged discussion can hinder them from completing their crucial responsibilities. And at the most fundamental level, it's entirely overlooking them when they offer you a friendly greeting in the passageway. Everything reduces to this. Staff are dedicated professionals thousands of miles away from their residences, performing their utmost to provide you a wonderful holiday. They aren't your exclusive attendants, and ultimately, disregarding that fact constitutes the basis of the demeanor they detest most. Beyond any individual action, they despise being handled with an attitude of entitlement that overlooks their dedication and their fundamental dignity. Now I'd be interested to learn from you. What passenger actions have you observed on your voyages that staff probably cannot tolerate? Share your perspectives and experiences down in the comments section. Appreciate you watching.